Hello, I'm Karen, and today's video is one of my little quirky videos where I'm working with the code. So I did say in my last video that I would share the secrets of this crochet doily pattern, and for those of you who've never watched one of our videos, I found a code a long time ago. Basically it's like if you imagine having a safe that you've got to crack, you've got the little dial that twizzles around one way and the other. You open that door, then there's like little barrels of little things to be able to do, and then you open another door and you find a crochet pattern, and then things like that. So that's how this worked. It's a handwritten code, and so this particular pattern, I need to show you just these little bits with it. So first of all, imagine that this is a clock. This is 12 o'clock and we're going around. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to be working with the alphabet just to demonstrate. So if we start here, that button there is representing A. So we'd go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. We need to go up a row. So that one's M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X. We need to go up a row. That's Y, and Z finishes at 12 o'clock. If we go then A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. J lands at 10 o'clock. J is in the 10th position of the alphabet, which was significant to all of my work that I've been doing. I'm just going to move the buttons out of the way. I did also create a second piece because this was to do with the alphabet. So this piece here, I've done 26 of them in the green and 26 in the white to represent the uppercase and the lowercase alphabet. And just in case you was wondering, both of these circles are actually 10 inches as well, so that still links to the letter J. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start with this one at 12 o'clock. So this is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. J is the green one, which is landing on this one here, which this one would then be, because that's 12, 11, 10, 9, 8 o'clock. 8 was always in the code, so I was like, okay, that just matches just because it just matched, because it was number 8. But it gave me those two things. And so now I'm going to show you the coded section of it to see what I did to help you understand, if you can at all, what I was doing. But I need this. This is the final piece of my work. So this is the alphabet. Hopefully you can see that. Let me just check my camera. Yep. Okay, so the alphabet itself is made out of portions of the stick and the C shape. Okay, and this is in lowercase. So for example, the A is got one of those and one of those. Yeah, and then we've got the uppercase alphabet. And there was rules when I was doing this, when I was actually working with this. And so no letter exceeds 4 pieces to be able to be built. Yep, so for example, the E has got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. And the same with these. There is an exception to the rule, which is the Q, because technically it is made of 4 pieces as it is, but the circle can be made of 2 C's. So because that was an exception, I did not keep that for this experiment. None of the letters exceeded 2 of the C shapes inside of them. So I gathered the letters there. I'd already got the letter B, so I've only included that once. The smallest letter that you can have is just 1 stick, which represents the lowercase I. And the smallest C shape, obviously, is the letter C. So that created this set of letters, which is those just written sideways. But that created a shorthand crochet pattern, which is this section here. Okay, so you've got a chain of 12, and then these are the shorthand. So in UK terms, this is a double crochet, a half treble, a treble, a half double treble, a double treble, a half triple treble, and a triple treble. And as I was saying when I made the pieces, these are all done in 12s. So we've got 1, 2, there's 12 in the middle there, so that's 1 round, 2, 3, 4 lots of 12, and these round the edges, there is 144 stitches. Okay, so that's where I've got my 4 lots of 12 and my 144. So part of the code then is to change this. So you break these back down and rebuild them as words, and it made the word alphabetical, which was 12 letters. So I was like, okay, this is definitely linking together. And I could also twizzle that round to make the words secret codex, which is 11 letters. At that point, and looking at this with this hole in the middle and the gaps in it, I knew I'd got to go back into the Voynich manuscript, and I didn't want to, because when I'd gone into the Voynich manuscript before, I was in there a very long time and I felt I was never going to get out of it. And I found it challenging actually to do all the different things, but I thought I've got to do it. I've got to do one more go. So I used this as the clock, and I'm going to show you. Let me just get the book. So we've already got the 8 o'clock, yeah, which I was mentioned. And on page 8, if we actually get this pattern and we line it up with the top of this leaf that's in the book, we can see through the gap and through the gap, even though I know it's really tiny and you can't actually see it from this angle. Maybe if I got it up really close, but right in the middle there is a little hook, and there is also another hook, because I'd already spotted that one on page 7 just for the sake of it. And I was like, oh, okay, it's just pointing out it's a hook. I'd already thought the book was crochet anyway, but yes, I went through the whole book looking to see what I could find. And on page 68 R3, we can see this picture here with the face in the middle. And if we put the face fits perfectly through it. Now, yes, I know there's going to be those critics that are going to go, well, those will fit and those will fit. Yes, they do. However, with this particular face, when you've got everything lined up, and that's at 12 o'clock, the face is there. And then we look at 10 o'clock, and when we go to 10 o'clock, we can look through the gap, and the gap there leads us to this piece here. And it gave me, there is actually 3 little sets of the Voynich manuscript symbols, okay? But that, I did notice, was on a fold-out piece that technically, because it's such an old book, I thought, do you know that could have been torn out and lost? I've still got to carry on looking. So on page 68 V1, there is also another face. This one actually even got the little star rays coming out of it and the extra pieces. I was like, now this is very promising. And with this one, what I had to do, so the head actually, the top of the head is over here. It's not pointing like upwards like that. So when I'd lined up the head, and then we've got, then 12 o'clock became over here. And on this one, it was at the 2 o'clock angle. So through the actual gaps was where I'd got this set of symbols there. So I wrote that one down. And there was one more, which is on page 86 R. Okay, so at this point, I'd already found, I'd got my 10 o'clock, which if you're looking at this cross here, that's, imagine this is, that's 12 o'clock there. That would be 10 o'clock. That would be 2 o'clock. That would be my 8 o'clock. And this would be 4 o'clock. And when we put this on and line it up, so that we've got that, then through the gap, this section here of this text, which is upside down, just this very last bit there, was through the gap, yeah? So I wrote that one down. And I couldn't find anything else. So I left it at that. These are the results of those pages. So the 68 R3 at 10 o'clock, the J. These are the symbols. Underneath, you can see where I've turned them into English letters of the alphabet. And in this time when we're using this one, I did need to, because I said before, the circle can actually be 2 C's. So I did need to snap one of them in half to be able to do this. So instead of me having a total of 7 of the C's, I'd got 9 of them. And the sticks was the same, 29, and I'd got 3, which created Queen Elizabeth Hook. So to me, I was like, oh, that's a coded signature. I am right. And it was just proving to me that I was right, even though that I kept saying I thought I was right, and I wanted confirmation of it. I now found some proof of that, and I was like, and so on 68 V1 at the 2 o'clock position, these are the symbols, these are the English terms, and yes, that question mark is correct. That little symbol always represented a question mark. And on this one, I'd got 2 of the circles, and I swapped both of them for C's. So instead of me having 5 of the C shapes, I ended up with 9, and I still had 22 of the sticks, which then became Elizabeth and 2 8. So this is, in the Voynich manuscript, the 8 was always representing the treble crochet stitch, but because it also represents a C, we can twist it again and put it as 2 C's, put the 2 C's to make the S, and we get Elizabeth's. And just for a note of pointing it out, why page 68? So 68 is 58 plus 10. Queen Elizabeth I became queen in 1558. The 10 was to represent the 10 of the 10th letter because she was the one that finalised the English alphabet. And so if you add those together, obviously that gets 68. There is actually a total of 116 pages in the book, and half of that is actually 58, which obviously it was too obvious, but it's still something to point out. The 4 o'clock position that we had on 86R, the reason behind this one is 6 and 8 is obviously just back to front. The letters was upside down. And for this one, I did exchange the circle for C's again, so there was no actual circles. So I ended up with 6 of the C's and 20. And we can still get Elizabeth. She's got a capital I in there. She's got a capital B. And so, and this is where, because I'd already got this, where I'd got the alphabetical, and we got numbers, I was looking at the word numbers, because historically, the U shape that we've got now, excuse me, used to be a V shape, and it used to be, so they used to mix and match it. Sometimes you know, if you've got the word numbers, it'd have a U in it, and sometimes it'd have a V in it, and it was all finalised that we'd got the 26 letters of the alphabet. And if we break the alphabetical numbers themselves down into their portions, they actually can create the numbers 1 all the way to number 13. But they also provided me with the name of Queen in lowercase, Elizabeth in capital letters, and 1558. And to me, the chances of all of those things happening because of what I'd done was just more confirmation that this is a coded signature. And just to add to it, when we look at the clock, and where I was thinking it was 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, it was actually 10 past 10, which is a hook, 20 past 10, which became a hook, and 10:40, which was also another hook. So I went back to the whole alphabet, and from the whole alphabet, we get the following results. So we have a total of 4 of the circle shapes, 35 of the C shapes, and 93 of the sticks. They create the numbers 1 all the way through to 26 and leave you enough leftovers for you to make the word hook. And if you put them all into words, you get Queen Elizabeth, alphabetical numbers, crochet hook, and secret code. So to me, this was all proving that yes, even though that the one that's in the library of this book, I believe is an actual copy of Queen Elizabeth I's work, it was proving that Queen Elizabeth I did actually write the Voynich manuscript, as it's now known, an original version, and she did alter the alphabet. So why did Queen Elizabeth I alter the alphabet from what it was to make it become the 26 and hide it all inside crochet? And my answer to that one is, if you go back in time, so they would just be handwriting letters to each other, which they would have been using like simple cipher codes, which is what we started off with. And so that A would represent 1, B would represent 2, etc. But there was somebody that was not good in her circle of friends or circle of whatever associates that was working with her, and so she changed it. And to make sure that everybody, you know, to find out historically, she left all of these clues to prove that she was the one that changed it, so that the baddies couldn't work out what she was actually planning and what by writing the normal ciphers that they was using. So I do believe that I've actually found, so technically what have we got? We've got one, because I'm just counting the names of Queen Elizabeth there. So we've got 1, 2, got that one there, 3, 4, because that one's potentially 2 different versions, 4, so that's 5. So 5 different lots of what I would say is a coded signature inside the Voynich manuscript and inside the English alphabet. And I do believe that that is the final piece I needed to do with all of this. And I just want to thank everybody that's actually joined me with this journey. I know I kept saying, oh, I'm not going to do any more coded stuff. I'm never going back in the book. But yes, I did. And I did do one more piece. So just in case you didn't get to see it all properly, I'm just going to show you my pages, just so that you've got every single thing that you can just see it. Yeah. And so you can, if you want to sit and look at my calculations, I have done my other videos where I've worked out what all of the symbols mean in the book. Okay. So there you are. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for those that do give me a thumbs up and like my video. Thank you for those that have subscribed. Thank you for all your lovely comments. And bye for now.